Hey guys, just finished watching Black Lightning, Season 1, Episode 9, The Book of the Little Black Lies. This episode was an really interesting episode, dealing a little bit with kind of Jennifer finding out about her powers and revealing that, and it's just Thunder and Black Lightning is her father and type thing, and that is really interesting playing with that. And I was hoping to get a bit more about her and her powers. She never really used her powers in this. She never really left the house in this episode. So it was interesting playing with that a little bit, and then we get to see a bit other stuff, we even get some things where Lynn kind of jokes about being Vixen. She asks her mother, are you Vixen type thing. She jokes about it, and she's not Vixen. So it's interesting to see, does this version of Vixen exist on there? Her mother also mentioned Supergirl, but it's unclear, Supergirl exists in this universe. She's flying out there, etc. It's in a different place. Or if this is, Supergirl exists, like she's on the TV. The show exists on Black Lightning, which that wouldn't be a bad idea, is if they had that version. Maybe even if this is on a separate Earth, and eventually they cross it over in the later seasons or something. We just have Supergirl on Earth 32, and we have Black Lightning on his own Earth, but then they have their own version of Vixen, which I think would be cool to see a Vixen on the show jumping over. I think it'd be quite interesting to see that, a completely different version of the Vixen. It'd be quite something interesting to see that. It'd be quite fun to play around with that. So it's pretty interesting to see where things go with this. We got Black Lightning and Thunder going after Ben's Corp. They find that they find about Nissa remembers the check in their grandfather's box type thing. It was from a big amount to him to kind of shut him down, to make him quiet and stuff. And he wrote "gotcha" kind of on the check or something like that, GTIF. So that's really cool for that. It was really kind of fun playing with that. Then we get Gamby goes after the guy who framed Black Lightning, and it seems like he's not really done at this point at the end of this episode going through that. So he's got his way to finding out who it is, but he doesn't really have exactly a clue, just exactly who it is type thing. So it's really going to be cool to play with that as things kind of continue on. Then we get Henderson taking photos with the dirty cop there. I think it's Cayman and stuff. I think his boss at the police precinct and stuff. And the one thing about where he was standing there, he was in the light, and the subject was in the dark. So first of all, the photo shouldn't really take out, but he did have an expensive camera, so maybe it's able to adjust to that. And at the same time, I don't see how the guys didn't see him. He's not just secretly shooting, and only have the camera. He's crouching there, and he's at least like 2 feet, 1.5 foot to 2 feet past the sidewalk that he's trying to the on pass that he's trying to use as cover. So I don't see how they didn't see him there. A lot of the guys turned over, and I don't see how they can't see that there's someone there. There's a big light right there, and that just bothered me because it made no sense. It wasn't a good place to hide, and you could have hid in other places and set it up better, and it just doesn't look like a place that you would not get seen. You'd probably get seen there. And after watching Jessica Jones and seeing how she does the thing, it's obviously different. She has power. She can jump up to a skyscraper, and there's a lot more advantages and stuff with her superpowers than Henderson. But still, it was just kind of annoying that, he was really obvious there, and none of the 10 guys there, and some of the guys who were just there for, to be on the lookout, didn't notice him up there type thing. I think that was kind of silly for those guys to do that, and not be able to see him there in the spotlight, because it was kind of obvious the way he was. We never really got a shot from their angle looking up at him, but I feel like they didn't do that because when they maybe had a camera there or not, they went, oh, he's too obviously seen there, so we're not going to use that shot. So I think that's probably why we didn't get a shot from down there looking up, because they would have seen him type thing. Then we get Gamby gives Thunder her costume, which was really cool with that, seeing how she plays around with that. It's really interesting to see that. It's really going to be fun. Then we get Jennifer just wants a normal life, she's talking to Lynn, her mother type thing, and kind of going into the detail of that and talking about how she left her father because of his powers type thing. And she never really admits, though, that it wasn't because of her powers, it's because that she didn't want him to to be Black Lightning and be injured and all that stuff. I think she should have done a better job of just, she could have said, yes, I did leave him at the beginning because I didn't understand what he was doing, and he was risking his life, and I couldn't live like that. But now I realize that, this is who he is. There's nothing I could do about that. He's going to do that with or without me. And I'd rather be here to help you guys. And now that you guys are involved, I'm all in. So I think that would have been a better moment for Lynn if she had kind of admitted that. And she kind of, because we have gotten the confirmation, we know that she's kind of moved on. She's clearly letting Anissa go out there and all that stuff. So there, it would have been a better moment as if she, had been able to bring her daughter back up by saying that, by admitting that, yes, I did originally leave him not because of his powers, which that's what Jennifer thinks now, is that just because she was scared of the powers and that's why she left. No, Lynn left because she was didn't want to see him get beat up all the time as Black Lightning and come home injured and one day die, never knowing when he's going to die type thing. And that's the idea why she left, not because he had powers. He could have been a police officer and Lynn would probably not have wanted that either. She would not have liked that idea. She just wasn't ready for that at that time. It could have been anything. It wasn't specifically the powers that scared her off type thing. And that's what Jennifer is left thinking in this episode, which is not true. So I think they should have played that better. And Lynn should have expressed herself better and kind of explained that, how that now she realizes that, now you guys have each other to take care of each other and how things are going to go on with that. I think it's going to be fun to see how things continue on from here and how things kind of build up, especially with the whole Jennifer storyline and her just wanting a normal life and not wanting these powers, how she can get roped into eventually becoming a superhero anyways, kind of like Jessica Jones, how she doesn't want these powers, she doesn't want these, to be a superhero, and she might, get roped into it. I think that's really going to be fun to see that. Maybe at some point, they get Jennifer, Anissa, and Black Lightning and Thunder go out, and they can't handle it. They might need Thunder to come out, Lightning to come out and do this. So we'll have to wait and see how they play with that. Obviously, Black Lightning's been stronger than Thunder. He beat her in the fight and type thing, and it would be cool to see if we get to see a Lightning costume, but at this point I don't know if Gamby realizes that Lightning even has her power type thing, that Jennifer even has powers, although I can imagine him would be suspicious of it and waiting for that. Maybe he already knows and he's just kind of assuming that they will happen. He just has costumes waiting around, he just doesn't know what her powers are, so that'd be fun to play with that. So it'll be fun to see how things continue on, especially with next week's episode where it looks like her powers are manifesting on their own. Maybe they're going off on themselves. It's unclear how that's going to work, if she's just, testing them out, or her emotions again trigger them, or if they just kind of go off on their own. Maybe as she's starting to hit puberty and that's how things are kind of changing and it's just kind of going out of control. I think that could be quite an interesting idea to play with that. Although I guess since they are very different powers, I could see how they could go off. But I guess these powers might not be set kind of puberty wise, because Anissa should have seen them a long time ago, because she's in her 20s now. So at this point, she would have had puberty a long time ago, and I think if they would have been connected, she would have discovered her powers a while back. But Anissa's powers could be different because they are more similar to her father, and they are more offensive rather than defensive, like Anissa's are more defensive and type thing. So I think it's really going to be cool to see that, how things play off, especially when they team up together. And then we get Henderson goes after Clayton, and Stife kind of drives off after him. And that's where I thought, oh my god, he's going to get killed or something. Something's going to happen to him. But no, he ends up just getting there just after Black Lightning and Thunder get there. And Henderson ends up saving Black Lightning by shooting the guy. And then, they go, he takes everyone away type thing, and takes everyone to custody. And then we get the shootout, the explosion where Black Lightning and Thunder kind of blow up everything and they walk out. And it really was a cool scene with them walking away, cool guys don't look at explosion type thing. Although the explosion looks so fake. Maybe it's just because I've been watching a lot of Smallville, at least season 1 of Smallville, where they only used real explosions. Most of the time they really only ever used real explosions unless they wanted him to do stuff. And even remember Smallville, there's a scene in Smallville where he's sitting in the truck and the whole thing explodes, and it's a real explosion. They actually lit a truck on fire. You could see how real it is. And I think it just, when you go and you watch a show like this and you use a fake explosion, yeah, obviously you're not going to blow up your actual main actors type thing, but they could have done the shot, done it a shot a little bit better, have it be a little bit farther away, give the actors a lot of distance behind them, and then have him just kind of throw like a bolt of lightning, have Black Lightning just throw the bolt of lightning behind him as if it's like a cigarette from an 80s movie type thing, and throw that bolt of lightning, and then that's when it kind of launches and explodes a couple of feet behind them. You can have a real explosion, but the actors are so far away that it doesn't really do, and they barely even feel anything. I think that could have worked, or just a real explosion with the actors kind of CGI'd onto it type thing in front of it with their green screen. So the actors were never actually there, but they're CGI'd a bit closer to it. So I think that could have been done. It would have been cool to see real explosions rather than these fake things. I just think it would be a lot more better. But for what it was okay. But it's just not going to be as memorable as some of those small little stuff since they used real things. So all in all, it was an interesting episode. I definitely liked this episode. It was fun. Again, I'm excited to see how things go in next week's episode with Jennifer using her powers and how that's going to go off. And they kind of look interesting to see how they're playing with that, how it looks they look a little different, her powers, than Black Lightning. And kind of, even though she's lightning and, Jennifer, we do see in the trailer that Anissa does say that your powers are just like your father, Black Lightning and stuff. But to me, they kind of look more, again, still like some sort of like heat powers rather than actual lightning powers. They look a little bit more like some fire powers type thing, or some sort of molten lava powers type thing. Is what it looks like to me. So it'd be cool to see how that plays off, and if things kind of as she's kind of using her powers, and if maybe her powers are connected to her, going through puberty or whatever. It's unclear if she's she's probably has gone already at this point, so we'll have to wait and see how that kind of connects to that, how things are going to develop it. Especially, it looks like her mother's going to be going over and kind of testing her or doing something. It looks like she does go through some sort of machine, so we'll see how that, what comes out of that, and then more explanation about their powers. It would be cool to do that, and maybe get Lynn and Pierce could kind of scan the three of them and see all of their powers and compare the two and see, oh, this and that, how did that happen and all that. And we still don't know the origin of Black Lightning, how he got his powers. He didn't even know that he got them genetically. So is that a confirmation that he got them genetically, or was it an experiment? How was that going to play out? It's really going to be fun to see how things continue on from that, and kind of maybe Lynn finding out, can her daughters get pregnant? How is that going to work? And what is the side effects and all there? I think that's really going to be fun to see that. And how is it going to be for with all these three people with superpowers? Are they giving off some sort of thing that's going to affect Lynn in the long run when she's living with all these people with powers? I could see maybe Thunder's powers not being that contagious, or not being that kind of somewhat dangerous over a longer period of time. I'm talking something more like the kryptonite over on Superman, whereas when Lex Luthor had kryptonite on his body at all times for decades on end, he eventually got sick from it. So I think I could see that idea playing on into something with Black Lightning, but I see that being something that happens later on, like obviously like if we get to season 10, maybe that's when you do it, or the last season, or season 5 or whatever, after spending years with these characters kind of going around. I think I could see that happening. And also it was interesting with the end of this episode when Black Lightning and his Jefferson and his daughter and Jennifer are watching TV. Can Black Lightning control TV and control electronics like that? Can he just kind of like, and just use his powers to turn it on, add power to it type thing? That would be a cool idea to see if he's able to kind of do that. He's able to emit the same frequency as a remote is, and kind of control or change the channels via his lightning type thing, via static electricity. I think it'd be quite fun to get an ideas with that. Can he play that? Could he start a car with his lightning? I think that could be cool things to play with in the future. So all in all, it's really going to be fun to see how things go with this. I definitely can't wait to see how things go in next week's episode. So let me know what you think, guys, about this episode in the comments below. Season 1, episode 9. I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.
I'm Captain America, here to talk to you about one of the most valuable traits a soldier or student can have.
Subscribing.
Sometimes subscribing is the key to victory. Sometimes it leads to very little, and it seems like it's not worth it. And you wonder why you waited so long for something so disappointing. How many more of these?
You're still here.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, guys. Peace.
It's over.